Hi there, and welcome back to our second episode of the Essential Zodiac Podcast.
Woohoo!
Yay! I'm your host, Cynthia McNulty, along with my amazing producer and friend, Audrey Fannin.
Hello.
And we're here to talk about the full moon in Libra, which is today. The full moon in Libra will occur today. And we might talk about some other interesting astrological topics. You just never know. So it's funny, when I first started doing the Facebook Live Lunar Meditations back in March of 2020, the world was a very different place. I think we can all agree on that.
Absolutely.
Yes. Despite us not wanting to, all of us have evolved and have grown in some way. So that's a little bit what we're going to delve in today. I'll show you how to tap in to this lunar energy for your benefit. Libra is the only sign in the zodiac that has an inanimate object. It has the scales. Everything else is either a person or an animal. So Libra, their energy is pretty obvious. It's balance. It's relationships. Libra is the opposite sign of Aries, which in the zodiac. So Aries is all about yourself, where Libra is the sign of others and how we interact with others, to either enhance maybe some things in ourselves we don't like. I mean, I'm the life of the party, where my husband is organized and he takes care of the finances and I take care of the good times. And it works. It works. It's been working for over 40 years. But so that's like Libra. It's all about balance. Libra is the diplomat. The downside sometimes is Libras can't make up their mind, so their partners are at times frustrated. So my advice to everyone out there who has a Libra child or partner, just make the decision. They'll go along because they want, everyone to be happy. So if you've been debating 20 minutes where you want to go to dinner, just you pick it. You pick and they'll go along with you. So, what we're going to look at with this moon, and Libra is also ruled by Venus, and we're going to look at that. I mean, Venus is the goddess of beauty. The energy in astrology, Venus is how we show love. Venus is how we like to be loved back, where Mars is all energy and fire and passion and our libido. Venus is the seducer, or how you like to be seduced. So it's a gentle energy. Libra is a air sign, so it's very cerebral. And Libra energy is cardinal energy. It is a cardinal sign, meaning that it initiates action. Libra is the beginning of fall. It's in September. So we're moving from summer into fall now. And that energy is all about having balance between the seasons. So what do we do with this energy that wants to please everybody, but you also have to please yourself? You have to find balance, and that's what Libra wants, balance. Everybody to get a piece of the pie. So here we're facing, even 2 years later, letting go of what was and embracing what is now, because we can't live in the past. It just is depressing to think of what was. What was is never coming back. So we have to live in the here and now. And if you embrace it, trust me, you will feel better. You won't feel as depressed or anxious if you look to the benefits, look to the blessings. Sometimes they're hard to find. I don't deny that. But they're there. They're there. And you have to want to find them. That's the other thing. You have to want to find them. My spiritual group has a phrase that we use. I don't know if it was ours exclusive or, if it came from someone else. But what we tell our initiates and our governors is the goddess helps those that helps themselves. You can't you can't petition for a job and not, look for one. The goddess is not going to drop one into your lap while you watch, TV, eating bonbons, or, play your video games, right?
You still have to fill out the application.
Exactly, Audrey. Give her some help, Give her some help, put in, polish up your resume. So that's a little bit of what we have here. You have to want to let go. So I always find it's easier if you make a list of the things that you want to let go. It could be simple things like I drink too much Diet Coke, or it could be, important things where I need to find a new job. But everything that you want to change.
I can see a Libra just envisioning the scales, right? So very easily coming up with the pro and cons for that list.
Exactly. Perfect. Yes. Do a pro and con list. It's an excellent idea, Audrey. So we're going to, and when you're doing it, you want to focus on your relationships and partnerships. Now, they don't have to be only romantic. It could be work colleagues, even your neighbors. But you want to look how you interact with others. I mean, is the problem you or is it them? If that's something you want to look at too. You want to look at some of the hard questions because no one wants to admit they're not perfect. And trust me, I'm a Leo. Admitting you're not perfect is like against our DNA. We're like, what? What do you mean? So coming from me, I understand that we don't want to look in the mirror at our imperfections, but that's how we grow. So what we're doing this too is, I think, another reason all of us are just feeling down is we've lost the joy. Everything is a bit more difficult. The simple act of going out to dinner is a big production. So it's like, I don't want to even bother. But I think it's important that we do bother. First, for the economy of the poor restaurant industry that has been hit super hard. They're one of the occupations that could really use a hand. And secondly, you want to get up, take a shower, brush your teeth, put on clothes other than a t-shirt and sweatpants. And you want to go out into the world and see things. Sometimes the most unexpected event happens when you're least expecting it. I've had a lot of those episodes where, I really didn't feel like doing whatever the thing was. But when I did it, I got a big benefit out of it. The benefit may be small. The benefit may be big. Maybe it's just that you go home with a lighter heart. And that Venus energy, along with, Libra wanting balance, is there for you. It's there for the taking. You want to see the beauty in life.
I had just a couple of questions.
Yeah.
How might this full moon in Libra energy affect our culture at large? All of what we've been talking about is going to be particularly intense for Libras themselves, right?
The full moon globally, or for us, we might, for the next 2 weeks, we might find people more amenable to compromise.
Oh, that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Just kind of, curious because we're all experiencing the full moon.
Right. And it also depends on where the moon is in your house, like what house the moon is in. If the full moon in Libra is in your third house, or house of communication, that is going to make that energy would be good for you to exploit. If you have to have a debate, if you're into negotiations, that kind of energy will help you be successful.
If you're putting an offer down on a house.
Exactly. Exactly. And, like I said, Libra's the sign of partnership. So everybody wants, it all to work out. And so this energy can help with that.
Another question I had just about Libra in general, since it's the scales, and we tend to think of the scales and we're thinking about, the judiciary and justice and things like that. Does that really play in, or is that just, a symbol clash?
The Greeks, it's funny that you should say that. The Greeks attributed Libra to their god Themis, or goddess, Themis, and she was the goddess of justice. And she is what you see in the courthouse. Justice is blind, she's blindfolded, holding the scales. So that's where that symbol comes through, because the Greeks were into truth and justice settling disputes. I mean, they had the beginnings of what you could call, the early court system. I'm not saying it was fair, but they did have, a system. So the goddess Themis was part of that mythology. And, of course, Venus, keeping with the feminine energy that Libra has, then you have Venus as well.
The Essential Zodiac podcast is published every other Friday to coincide with the new and full moon. Join us for insight into the moon cycle and astrological events, and learn how you can use their influence to benefit your own life. Visit EssentialZodiac.com to check out Cynthia's services. While you're there, read the latest Skywatch journal and take a look at the Patreon member levels perks to help support production of this podcast. You can find Essential Zodiac on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. You can also contact us by email. It's podcast@essentialzodiac.com.
Instead of doing a meditation this time, we're going to do some affirmations and some questions for ourselves from a great book. It's called Moonology, and it is by Yasmin Boland, and it's working with the magic of the lunar cycles. And you can find it on Amazon, and it comes with the book and a lovely set of affirmation cards, and they're really great. They're really great. I recommend her book highly. So when we look at our full moon here in Libra. And we want to work with that energy. We're talking about doing our pro and con list. Here's a couple of questions you could put on the top of your list, and you can think about. So have you been too easily influenced by others? Cooperation, and collaboration are very important. But are you always the one compromising? Don't forget your needs. So have you been too easily influenced? Here's another question. Have you been living through someone else? It's good to admire people or to think of them as heroes or mentors or things like that, but we want to have our own individuality. And that also goes with, parents trying to live through their children. That's very damaging to the kids. I mean, you may have wanted to be a baseball star, but maybe your child does not. So you have to let them be individuals. And the final point is, have I spent time beautifying my life? Now, I'm not, Susie Homemaker by any stretch of the imagination, but I make my bed every day. The rest of the room could be in shambles, but my bed is made. It's a small thing, It doesn't, you don't have to, go all out and, be a whirlwind of cleaning. Take a room at a time or a piece of a room at a time. Wherever your sanctuary is in your house should be neat and pleasant. So whether that's your room or you have, a craft room or the den, that should be neat and tidy. The rest of the house could be whatever, but where you relax, where your sanctuary is, should be nice. So you're probably thinking, okay, so I made this list. What am I going to do with it? Well, I'm going to tell you. One of the best things to do is we release our intentions into the universe. Because honestly, what you put out there comes back. If you're negative, you're going to get negative. If you're positive, you'll get positive. So write out your list and then now do this safely. You're going to burn it. So either go outside or, somewhere where you have a heat-proof bowl and water, just in case it gets a little crazy and you want to burn your list. The best time to do this would be on a Saturday, because Saturday is a good day of releasing. But if for some reason you can't get it done on a Saturday, do any day and just let the negativity go. Just don't let it back into your life. And once you do this, don't let it back into your life. Make your boundaries and stick to it. It might be a little awkward at first to speak your boundaries because you haven't for so long, right? But trust, it'll get easier each time no is a complete sentence. Remember that. We don't have to necessarily give an explanation. It's no, I can't do that. So listen to your boundaries and speak them. And be proud that you're setting limits and you're making yourself feel good and to be a better person.
And to prioritize yourself.
Exactly. So often we are not the priority in our own life. And I find that disturbing. I try, it's easy for me to sit here and preach, but I try to do it myself. Sometimes it's hard. We have other obligations besides ourselves, but set some time, at least once a week even, to have a little time for yourself. Well, that is our episode for today. I want to thank you all for coming and listening to me. I have my Patreon site up, so there's all sorts of goodies out there that you might want to check out. Also, check out my website, www.essentialzodiac.com. We have current offerings for you. There's a great new tarot spread up there, so you want to take advantage of that. And check me out on Facebook and Twitter. Also, I can tell you one of the perks for the Patreon membership is I have a private Facebook group just for patrons, so you want to check it out. Thank you so much. Until next time, keep looking up.
Join us in 2 weeks for another episode of The Essential Zodiac. On April 29th, we'll be looking at the new moon and solar eclipse in Taurus. Be sure to visit Cynthia's website, essentialzodiac.com. Check out the latest Astro Tarot spread. Read this month's horoscopes. Look into Cynthia's current promotions like the Happy Birthday offer with a discount on your solar return chart. We hope you'll like, comment, and follow The Essential Zodiac on your favorite podcast channels. And be sure to share our podcast with your friends. The Essential Zodiac podcast is produced at Muddy Creek Studios.